Hello everybody and welcome to the Appeon Community Webinar, Reducing the Adaptation Time of Power Builder Applications to Appeon Web. Our guest presenter today is Lauro Oliveira from Senior Solution. And hi, I'm Chris Pollack, Director of Developer Relations for Appeon. This is a repeat performance from Lauro. He had a previous engagement at the Elevate 2017 Power Builder Conference in Charlotte, North Carolina, and graciously has agreed to come back and present the same presentation again for everybody interested in moving to Appeon Web. Just wanted to make sure that we have a little disclaimer that this is a presentation from the Appeon community, and Lauro doesn't work for Appeon. And the views and opinions expressed in this presentation are from Lauro himself. The contents, of course, are protected by U.S. copyright law, and any material that we reproduce or transmitted has to have the actual written permission of the respective owner, in Lauro in this case. So again, I'd like to turn it over to Lauro for the presentation. Thanks, Lauro, for doing this again, and take it away.
Thank you, Chris. Hi, guys. It's a pleasure to make the presentation again. We're going to talk about how here in Senior Solution we did a project that accelerates the implementation of Appeon Web on our Power Builder projects. Okay, so our agenda is first a contextualization. I will to explain what was our problem, what we want to do. So talk a little about Appeon Web. So explain a little deeper the problem. What we did to solve the problem, and then talk about transformations, the solutions about some code transformations to make some unsupported features from Appeon Web to disappear from code. So we're going to do a demo, so a live demo. That's good stuff. So let's present myself. I'm Lauro Oliveira, as Chris has introduced it. I have some skills in Power Builder, C#.NET, SQL Server, and source code analysis and manipulation. That was a key ability for this project, as we're talking about how to transform our Power Builder code, our Power Script code, to remove unsupported features from them. I have worked some projects here, big projects in Brazil, and so on, so same solution about PBNI and all about Power Builders. In 2015, we started about this project is going to be present today. It's called Appeon Adapter here. Okay. Senior Solution is the company where the project was developed. I work here for 16 years. Working with Power Builder and .NET. Senior Solution is a leader of market in Brazil. We are leading financial software development. We are more than 700 employees and more than 3,000 shareholders around the world. So it's a big company in Brazil. And going to show to you this case that was present in Appeon Elevate 2017 too. So let's start with the contextualization. So our Power Builder, we have some financial apps in Brazil, here in Senior Solution. Most of them is about financial for banking and fund pensions. We have a lot of projects, a lot of products, and we sell this product to a lot of accounts.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
So our apps are done. Our products are sold to the same copy for different customers. So we have one source code, have that nifty. We have more than 10 million lines of code written those apps. We have mostly bank and pension funds business. Okay, so they were released first release in 20 years ago. So there is a lot of code that were written a long time ago with some practices that we maybe can say that's not some good practice that maybe is the most case of our unsupported features from Appeon Web. So let's see this. So recently faced some problems. We're losing sales because our apps are not running on browsers. So the company was looking for something that can take our products to the web. So take products to the web demands some lot of rewritten code, platform migrations, a lot of stuff take time, it's expensive. So they asked me to find some solution to take the products to web with not so much effort. So like a pill on a diet, so a pill to get skinny. So some tech limitations to have phase 2. Some we cannot go up to cloud, so we cannot have some other economic sale models again, like SaaS sale models and something like that. So we are limited to sell our premise version of our product, and our customers want it on the web to use on the cloud, to pay as they use, and like something like that. So we're facing this kind of problem. So the board has asked for a fast and efficient solution. So migrating apps is expensive. So we found the Appeon Web. Appeon Web was like, oh my God, so we can get our product in Power Builder, the same source code, migrated to web, just like that. Yeah, it's a quite magical tool. So we start to understand the platform, and start to do some tests, some proof of concepts. So that was one. So Appeon Web, it's automatically deploy your Power Builder desktop apps to web. So most of you should know about Appeon Web. It's a fast way to do that. So you can keep your code written in Power Builder and run that in a .NET environment or a Java environment. So you can take it to a web server, serve as a web application. So you keep the same source code. So that was a very good thing, because you can take a leverage of our Power Builder scheme skill. So the first thing we thought to go to web was, so let's rewrite our code to another platform, Java or .NET, like something like that. So now we can keep our source code in Power Builder, keep our developer skills, all things that you know about Power Builder, and still go into the web. So it was an amazing tool for us. Okay, so we can keep the same code and target both platforms. So I can keep one source code, run as desktop app or as a web app. So that was an amazing thing for the board. So they liked the idea, so we keep working that. So just like that, okay, I have to, like that. So there's something that we have to take care about Appeon Web. So Appeon Web does not support all Power Builder features. So when we are developing the process, there is a lot of stuff, some points on Power Builder code, some Power Builder scripts, some Power Builder constructions, some Power Builder components that is not supported by Appeon Web. So there is a tool that is deployed together with Appeon. So it's unsupported feature analysis, come UFA here just for make it easy to say. So what this tool does, analyze your code and tell you, oh, there is some constructions that is not supported. So we're going to have a problem when you go to migration. So then a list of all of them you can find that's in that link. Okay, so the documentation of Appeon is large. That is all that unsupported features documented. So it's on the Appeon site. Okay, this link, there is a lot of them. So there is some unsupported features not detected by UFA because they are found, there are semantic difference, not the syntactic. So not about what you have written, but what that means. So like things like number calculations, something like that all of that is supported. So to solve that problem, Appeon has a guide, so that helps you to fix that problem of unsupported features, and workaround people. So we have a library that helps you with some problems of these unsupported features. So all the documentation is very rich, so we can take on that. So, but what was our problem? So we have that contextualization, we want to go to web, we're facing losing sales, losing customers, we would like to go to the cloud, to go to Appeon Web, but we found Appeon Web, so we keep having some problem. Our problems was about the unsupported features. We're going to talking about that now. So we drew a process that was quite simple to migrate our process from Power BI, from Power BI desktop to web. So the process have some requirements. The process must be productive, okay? Must be the most automated as possible, because we have some limitation of resource to go to that process. So we have to have only one source code at the end of the process. So we don't want to maintain two source codes. That's insane. That's a product. We have a product, we sell them to a lot of customers, and that should look different when run on browser. We did something that changed the UI when running on Appeon Web. So we drew like that. Just a process that, a path that we go step to convert, change the UI, work around with unsupported features. So run some tests, okay, run some tests. Okay, you were on the web. Simple problem. But there is a lot of things. So we found a lot of unsupported features in our source code. When we ran UFA, we just thought, oh, the Appeon Web was not a viable solution because there is a lot of unsupported features in our source code. So the first time I said, oh my God, this is not a real good solution. So we found Appeon Web. We saw, oh my God, we found the solution for the problem, and then now we have to give up on it. So because a lot of unsupported features. The first model analyzes a small one, is just a proof of concept. There's almost 3,000 items, unsupported features detected on them. So that's a lot. Most of them is a high complexity solutions. What I say about high complexity solutions is something that we have to think to change. Like, for example, we have some Trycatch statements. So how to remove some Trycatch statements from the code in a fast way without thinking about something. So you have classified that as high complexity because of that. For example, how to remove the GoTos from code. We found a lot of GoTos. Yeah, believe me, we found a lot of GoTos. As I said, this code was written 20 years ago, started to be written 20 years ago. So in that time, people used to use GoTo. So as Chris has told me, he said, no, GoTo, not even to go to a meeting. Go to a meeting is not possible, so I'm coming to a meeting. So look like that. This is a board about one of our modules, a small one. So we found almost 1,500 of GoTo's statement on that code. So that's a lot of code to change, doing that manually. So we have to do it by hand. It take time. It's prone of errors. So we had to find a solution for that, or just give up from Appeon Web. So if I cannot give up from Appeon Web. This is good too, a good solution. So we have a not good code, but have a good solution. So we have to change our code. That was the first thing we have to think about that. So that is what on board. We see what the most thing we found was GoTo and code. So we have to do something to remove them. So analyze that. It was almost an impossible job. Yeah, the medium-sized module, that the previous analysis was a small one. The middle one was 15,000 items unsupported of Appeon Web. We have some models that has 6,000 GoTo statements. So that's a job that was not possible to do with just by hand. And remember, we have more than 10 million lines of code. So there was a lot of GoTos, Trycatch, and other unsupported features from Appeon Web to make the conversion. So what we did, so we've changed the process. We try it again. So we step to convert, a step to change the UI, a step to automatically remove unsupported features. Yeah, automatically remove. Then work on the remains because not all of them was automated, so we're going to talk about it. And then the test. How we did it. So we choose the chosen unsupported features to be automatically removed was GoTos. So because we found a lot of GoTos, it was the high complexity to change it. Trycatch statements and try finally statements, we have some of them, and there is no, it's hard to change it, and there's a frequency, high frequency in our source code. Shared variables is another unsupported feature that in our source code there is a lot of shared variables, so it was selected for automatic removals. Message.return value, so it's not supported. So in our library, all our software depends on it to work. So there's a lot of lines of code with message.return value. The big cancel, the double message title, it's a method from application object. Set trans, they used to set trans, now it's set trans object. It's a quite simple transformation you're going to see like that. And lock, it's a property from transaction. So this was that was the choosing for automatic removal. Okay, some transformations in the code we're going to explain on the next. So the first transformation was GoTo Transformation. When we passed from the Appeon Web, the Appeon adapters, the tool that we developed to our source code, to find all the GoTos and remove the GoTos and change the code to have the same logic without using the GoTo automatically. So as you can see, on the left one is the original code, and the right is the generated code, the transformated code. So we eliminate the GoTo and put a complexity that's an if statement to understand, to change the code and keep the same semantic, the same logic. Okay, all the codes that was transformation automatically, they have this tag in the comment that's written in Portuguese because I'm located in Brazil. Yeah, Portuguese is not quite hard. You are working on it, so Portuguese is not quite hard, but the comment is Portuguese because the company is located in Brazil. At the end of the presentation, we can tell about this, how we can get the source code of this, is trying to read the source code of this to you. So a Trycatch transformation. So all the Trycatch that we have on the left side was changed for the code on the right side. So a logic that analyzed the code, find the throwable variables, and change the throwable variables for string variables, change the throw statements for all the things that we used to do in the catch statement, and remove the catch statement. So analyze the code, understand the logic, and transform. That's what it does in all those two transformations, even GoTo and Trycatch transformation. Another transformation that's just like that is a try-finally transformation. That if you have try-finally new code, it's not supported to with Appeon Web. So this code just transform it like the other one in the right side. So when you have the exit of the code from the try block, it's replicate the finally code. So to guarantee that the code of finally will always be executed, so make the transformation to be just like that. This saved a lot of time. A person in hand doing that, it's expensive, take time, and it's prone of error. The shared variable, so it's a different transformation. We have to do something more than just transform the code, because the shared transformation was static variables on a user object, an NVO, non-visual object. So we have to remove the variable, the attribute, the declaration of a variable from there, and turn it on a global variable. So just like that, we had the code. Okay, so the first one is declared on the shared as a shared variable, so we changed it to be a global variable. Global variable is supported on Appeon Web. And all the place that reference that variable is changed to use now the global variable. So the name was changed just to remit what object this variable was belongs before the transformation. So global and the name of the object and the name of the shared variable. Okay. How we did that? The process was not quite simple. Okay, so it's simple when it's simple to use, but it's not simple the process of construction. We did it too, using Power BI to extract source code from the pibbles. We need the pibble is a closed format, so we used some libraries from the Power BI to extract the source code from pibbles as text files. So we wrote a Power BI parser used Antler for. So the Antler for is a tool that lets us write grammars and make process of that grammar. So we wrote a grammar for PowerScript to understand all the PowerScript that allow us analyze the code and navigate through the code. Okay, so we did a rule engine that searches for unspotted features using that the Antler that we developed. So when you find unspotted feature, transform it for another thing, and who that he write the code when we find a UF unspotted feature, he write it in a manner that Appeon Web can process and can use that. So this tool was done with C#.NET. So we did it. So the pass through the code, know the transformations was done by using C#.NET. Let me show you a demo. It's working. So that's the more interesting part. Just a minute. So I have here a sample application, very simple, just for this to show this case running. Look that we have here on this project, Appeon workarounds people. This people came with Appeon Web, so there is a lot of objects, okay, released by Appeon, just to help us to do interact with some unsupported features. So there's a lot of things that's not supported, so use from Appeon workarounds. We can test from here if we are running as an Appeon application, a web application, or a mobile application, or a desktop application. There's a lot of cool features inside of this people. So you have this in our library list. We have this other people that's something that developed by us that help us to a lot of other stuffs. Okay, but what matters is this part. So we have this application, just a simple application, just a window with 2 buttons. Okay, one button we'll call an object that has a GoTo code, and another that have a Trycatch code. So let's see the script. We have here a code using try finally. Okay, that's not supported by Appeon. And what Appeon Web does is like that. So they process the code and just ignore that a try finally exists. So on Appeon Web running this code, it will just ignore that final exists, and this message box will never be executed. So here we have just 2 objects. GoTo objects that there is some GoTos on that code. We're going to see this GoTos going away from the code in this demo. And we have the Trycatch one. That can let me see here. Yeah. That's better. Have the Trycatch here that will be replaced with some other constructions. Okay. And even we have from the main window, we have some finally code here. I have some try finally code here that will disappear too. So firstly, let me run this application just to say that's simple. Appeon Web sample app, just simple. Okay. Just finally executed. So that's running. I'm going to publish that in Appeon. So Appeon toolset, let me open it here. Okay. So already configured it here. So I'm going just to make the deploy. Okay, Appeon webinar, it's pointing to that source code. I'm going to publish it. Okay. Okay. So the UFA, the Unspotted Features Analysis tool, can be accessed by here. So analysis report, we can see like that we have a lot of unspotted features in the code. Let's see by peoples. If you group it by peoples, we have 11 unspotted features on my people. This one, we have 11 unspotted features. We have 5 on your in catch object, 2 on GoTo object, and 4 in the main window. There's 3 objects that is some unspotted features. Here we can see one catch, 1 try, 2 variables of type throwable, and 1 throwable. Here we have a lot of more unspotted features. We have here GoTos and labels. Okay, 2, 1. So in here we have more. We have finally, have try. So we can find our unspotted features in an easy way using the unspotted feature analysis report. So I'm close it. Let me run the Appeon application now as a web application. Okay, so running from the browser, the same interface opens from my browser. Okay, so when I click, nothing happens because it just ignored my try finally statement. So the code, my message box inside the finally was just ignored. Okay, so we have to send. But the report notes that to me, so I can access the report from here too. Okay, so these unspotted features that make that behavior. So let's run our application. So we did the tool that we developed here was called Appeon Adapter. So in Portuguese, Adaptador Appeon. So it's called passing some arguments to it. So I had my target, what's my application object, what's my main application, my application people, okay, and where I want to go the out files, the transformed files. So it's not put it inside the people again. You have to import it manually just for precaution. So when I'm going to generate my output file, so going to be generate here my Appeon sample file, out directory, out folder, sorry. So let's run. So I'm going to run that batch file. Okay, it's time to run. So it's saying how many GoTos, how many tries, okay, and how long it's taken, how many threads it's using to do the process. So it's a parallel process. Start to analyze all the files at the same time in all peoples that you have in your target. So it did some statics that just for verbose way. Okay, it did it. Let's go to that place. Okay, Appeon sample, the out folder. Okay, the time is light because I'm in Brazil, guys. So so for each transformed object, it's separated by folder. So my people, Appeon sample people is its folder. So all transformed files, all changed files was created here, a copied exported object. So that is changed in all of this. So let's import it to here. Let me close the windows just to get imported. Import. So I'm there. See Appeon, simple, out, Appeon people, my files, import all of them. Okay. So if I run a code, skip running as a Power Builder app, as a desktop app. Okay. So let's see what changed in the code. My catch object, now there is no Trycatch anymore. There is no Trycatch in the code. Change remove the Trycatch code, but keep the same logic. My GoTo object was changed too. Okay, so for each label there is a Boolean variable, so that change the flow of the source code, keeping the same logic. So I cannot use GoTo anymore, so I have to use other statements. So GoTo remove it. So from the main window, there's no try finally anymore. And in here, there's no try finally anymore. So let us publish this version now to Appeon Web and see what it tells about it. I'm going to just to redeploy. So I configured to read from here. Okay, let us see now how analysis reports say that for us. Okay, so there is a lot of unsupported features too. Yeah, so let's group by peoples. Oh, my people is not here anymore. But there is an Appeon workaround people, so that's Appeon people. So Appeon can have some supported features here. Okay, so that's not, you have no, don't worry about that. That's control. So it's from Appeon. They really know what they are doing. So let's run to see how we do those way. Run. Okay. Now finally executed. So we ran this application, changed the state, changed the code, deployed to Appeon, and now we have the same way, running the same way from Appeon or as a desktop app. Okay, so that's cool.